Hello and welcome back to RPA Wizards. In this video, we will discuss about data table activities to filter data based on specific criteria and output the result to a new file. Let's imagine the following business scenario. We have a database with employees and we need to extract the name of those that meet certain criteria. This kind of process is very common in every HR department today. Let's begin. Here, we have an Excel file containing a list of employees which contains columns for name, age, work domain, current jobs and salary. It has around 300 entries. A standard way of working with Excel file is extracting the data, storing it in data table variables and performing different manipulations to obtain the desired information. Once this is done, the data can be written in the same file or to a new Excel file. This video is based on the standard approach. The first thing we will do is to read the data in the file. Let's add a workbook read range activity, name it properly, specify the file path and create the output variable in the output data table property. Here I am giving as output variable like input dt because I am going to give it the all records as the input. So I am giving as a input data, input dt. Next, in our case, since we want to get all the data in the file, we will leave input range field from the property panel empty. Note that since our file contains headers, we leave the headers property checked. Next, we want to extract the names of the employees younger than 30 and with an income of more than 100,000. So, we will use the filter data table activity and the filter wizard button to customize the filter criteria. Now, we need to provide, now let's update the name of our activity. Secondly, we need to add output data table we need to add output data table since we don't want to create a different data table with a filtered result. We can enter the name variable as the same. Then we all choose an operation like the A should be less than 30. So here we have a column age less than 30. Keep in mind that it is mandatory to add the .00, otherwise filter will fail. Now we want to add a condition related to the income. We'll simply click the plus button and we will add another condition. I'm going to click here. If you want to add more options like more than one is or and condition, you can check here. If you click, it will be changed like and or. Now I'm going to add like and. For income column, income is earns over 10,000 per annum. Now click OK. Second tab, output column. Here I'm not doing anything, so as it is, I'm keeping as the same. Note that all numeric data read from Excel through the read range operation is interpreted by UiPath as double. So the value used for comparison in the filter wizard for these columns should always be formatted accordingly, like we did is the example. Now we all add a build data table activity right after filter data table. We will use it to store the filter data table. Now I'm going to build a build data table. Here I'm going to delete all those columns. I'm going to create new one like name, a string. Next, age as a string. Income also it's a string. Now we will build the data table like Control K. This data table like we will give a name as achieve versus data. So I'm going to use everything as a main sequence. Okay. Next we will date like let's update the activity name and then create a new variable properties and everything we have there. So now we are here, very important part, the for each activity, we all use it to iterate through each individual row in the filter data table and extract only the information that we are interested in. We are going to iterate through the input data variable and use item activity, which output the value of the specific cell from the current row. Now we are going to call for each row for in data table. Now I'm going to call input data table here, current row. Here I'm going to iterate each and every column. So I'm going to call get row item activity. Here we are going to iterate through the input dt variable and use the get row item activity, which outputs the value of the specific cell from the current row. Specific cell from the current row. I'm going to specific here. This is row. I'm going to give as a current row. Specific row. And then now I'm going to give a column name. Here you can see number or name. Number because the column name, column number, which is the column the number name is. So you can specify here. Now I'm going to give value. I have a created name variable. I'm storing in that name variable. Next I'm going to manipulate with age. Here I have called assign activity. This is when you are calling, like you are iterating as a number or integer value or double value. You are going to call in assign activity. For example, age. I have created a variable age. Then now current row dot item array, column name, column age is column number is here 0 1. So I'm going to give 1. Finally, I'm going to convert to string. So let's go to the variable panel and set age is next. Again, I'm going to give a call a assign activity for income. Rent, current row, item array, row dot to string. Now the income column is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll give a proper name. Now we have a created all field, income variable inside 2 field and age and everything. After that, once we have the information from 3 columns that we are inserted in name, age and income, let's use an add data row activity to add the data to the new achievers data variables. So again, we have to insert all values in the new data with add data row. The 2 important parameters here are the name of data table variable to add into, in our case, achievers data, that is achievers tt, and data to add in our case in the form of an array. The array is specified as a comma separated list enclosed in braces or curly bracket. So name, comma, age, comma, income. So now for each row in the file, the process will read the name, age and income, and it will add the data into the empty data table created earlier. That's it. We all save the data table into a new file using Excel application scope. Specify the output data file. Now, right range activity. Add a right range activity. Now, and add a right range activity where we specify the achievers data in data table, and we have to click a header. Everything is placed now. Let's run the process. See, in result, there is no record. Now, when the run the process, the record will be the filter data. Now, run the process. That's it. Our result file is there. Yes, we got filtered record. Before we end the video, let's quickly recap what we learned in this video. The standard way of working with Excel files is by storing data in data table variables and performing different data manipulations activities to obtain the desired result. To obtain all the data within the Excel file by using the UiPath workbook activity read range activity. Make sure to check the range field to empty. Filter wizard can be accessed when using a filter data table. Workbook activity filter wizard can be accessed when using filter data table activity. Every time we added numeric values in the filter wizard, when we type in the number of value followed by 0 and followed by double zeros, dot double zero, otherwise filter will fail. If we want to filter data by multiple conditions that are not necessarily all true, we can toggle the condition criterion button and then filter wizard, and by default the button is set as AND, which is used then when we want multiple criteria which are all true. If we want to indicate which column we want to process, we use it to column name since it tends to more or reliable, but index is always an option too. And this is what it for this video. Finally, thank you for watching and happy automation.